Enforcer.
I believe they're called enforcers, Gordon. I sell women's shoes.
And the Stallion.
Stallion, baby! I am not what you would call a handsome man.
I'll kick you in the nuts and you'll smile at me and like it.
Oh, nice! Wow.
Welcome back to yet another week of the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast. We are your hosts. He's the Stallion, I'm the Enforcer, and as always, we are brought to you by the Damage 365 Radio Network.
Hey everybody, this is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, and you are listening to Damage 365 Radio. And remember, everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
We thank you guys for tuning in for yet another week, and I'm proud to let you all know that, you know what I'm not doing? Handstands. Let's just get that out of the way right now. I don't want to talk about handstands. I don't want to do handstands. I don't want to see anybody doing handstands. I don't want to talk about people doing handstands. I'm done.
All right, I guess we're not going to talk about handstands.
We're not.
Like.
We talked about them.
That's like 50% of my material, so I'm going to have to really regroup here on the fly and figure out.
I feel like I'm really neutering your material. We can't do handstands. You're not allowed to put Dean Ambrose and Kenny Omega in this week's top 5.
What? What is it that we're? What is it? What is top 5? What is
the
that
top
mean?
5 count.
That's. Listen. If you're gonna change the gimmicks on me before the show starts, say we got to talk about this stuff. I can't,
Everybody loves the prepared. Everybody loves the 5 count. It's just
everybody loves to steal our gimmicks.
I was just gonna say that gimmick infringement. Speaking of gimmick infringement, I'm driving to work today, and we're getting off on a tangent. It's not even 2 minutes in. I'm driving to work today, and I'm stuck in traffic. I'm punching the steering wheel and all the other things that you do when you drive on Long Island. And I look to my right, and I see this van here. It's the Triple H contracting van.
I've seen that too.
You've seen that before?
Yeah.
I'm going to call the number and ask them some stuff and be like, who did you wrestle at WrestleMania 17? And see what they say.
Hopefully they say The Undertaker.
I didn't even know the answer to that.
Okay.
That's how much I care about Triple H lately. Well, listen, we're back. We got a busy week. We got the Stallion and I are excited because tomorrow night, I don't know what day you're listening to this podcast. Well, today's Friday. We're doing this Friday. Tomorrow night, we're going to be live at Ring of Honor Manhattan Mayhem. Sitting front row the way 2 nutsacks from the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast do. Front row A, seat 1 and 2. Hopefully, we're not next to Streamer Guy, I do like Streamer Guy, though. Oh, that reminds me, I got to go to Party City tomorrow. I'm going to hit the Party City in Patchogue and get some streamers. I'll be the new Streamer Guy.
What if I threw a streamer at Streamer Guy and hit him in the face? What would happen then?
You would waste 89 cents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would I then claim the mantle of Streamer Guy because I,
We could do some sort of Van Daminator where you throw the streamer up as he's going to catch it. I hit him with a super kick.
All right, I feel good about that.
All right, let's get that on the pre-show.
Okay.
Instead of the 400 different top prospect matches.
Yeah, I was going to say, it'll make those top prospect matches more interesting.
We're going to get them over, yeah. I also think, seeing as how I was there, you were there when Kyle O'Reilly defeated Adam Cole, being that I'm a big fan of the Red Dragon, I feel like if Bobby Fish wins the title tomorrow, not only will it be solely 100% because of me, but I will then get a Red Dragon tattoo. I think I'm going to tweet Bob. I'm going to let him know the deal. I'm going to tell him no pressure, but I will incorporate Red Dragon at some point into my sleeve. So
that seems reasonable.
Yeah. I make good decisions in my life. But
what was the percentage that you put on Bobby Fish winning the title tomorrow night?
I think I put 30.
30%.
Yeah. What did you put it at? 20?
No, I don't think I...
You said I thought you said 20.
It was less. I said it was going to be less.
Less than 30.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Joe. What's less than 30?
No, I don't really want to give the number. I feel like
I think you should give the number.
It's not appropriate.
I want to hear. I would like you to give. I
don't want to discourage. The idea that I would like to see very much that you get a Red Dragon tattoo.
You think Bob would appreciate that?
I think he would for a few minutes, and then after that he may just enjoy his title win. I would say. I think he'll.
Yeah, I mean, I would. It's like an honor, you know.
Yeah.
It's like hey, Red Dragon won thanks to me. Maybe I could like superimpose myself in a picture of Bob and Kyle, and then tattoo that. So it's kind of like the Mount Rushmore of Red Dragon, with me, a fat bearded guy who's contributed nothing to the professional wrestling industry.
I mean, that's one idea. I mean, that's something.
It's something gives us something to look forward to.
Out there.
Yeah. So really, what percentage do you put at Bob Fish win the title?
I would say like 3%.
You're that low? 3%, really? Well, he doesn't make a T-shirt for no reason, okay? Bob Fish, world champion. I even tweeted Bob today that I'm putting on an extra coat of mustache wax in honor of the Bobster. That's a new one. I'm going to run with that for a while.
You going with the Bobster?
What was like? Remember what was his name that we used to work with? It was Bob, right? We called him the Bob.
Real Bob?
Real Bob.
Oh,
yeah, that's what it was. Real Bob. All right, let's get to the show. We got a big pay-per-view coming this weekend. It's WWE Fastlane
Road Rage.
Road Rage. Was that a pay-per-view?
No.
I feel like that was probably a WCW. That was a WCW video game.
Road Rage?
I feel like WCW Road Rage was a video game they did. I'm going to look it up as you tell us what we're going to listen to today and talk about.
Okay, so Fastlane is Sunday night. It's a Raw brand specific pay-per-view.
Boo! Oh, sorry. Keep going.
Okay, so there are 8 matches on the card, one of which is appearing on the pre-show. So I'll run down the card. Pre-show match is Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa versus Brian Kendrick and Noam Dar. And then on the main card, we've got Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe, Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax, Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman.
Boo! Sorry, I got to keep that to myself. I suck.
And then 4 titles are going to be defended. So it's going to be Bayley against Charlotte Flair for the Women's Championship. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus Enzo and Cass for the Raw Tag Team titles. Neville versus Jack Gallagher for the Cruiserweight title. And then Kevin Owens defending the Universal title against Goldberg. Bill Goldberg.
Road Wild.
Road Wild.
Yeah. Was the show. Yeah, that's what I remember.
That is the pay-per-view, yes. Road Wild.
Yeah.
Formerly Hog Wild, I think so.
Hog Wild. That just sounds disgusting.
Isn't that the one where they used to go to Sturgis with all the motorcycles?
That was, yeah. That's
big Eric Bischoff idea, I think.
Really? So wait, you're telling me overly tanned, balding men in leather jackets drinking beer doesn't scream Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff to you? Mm. Down to a T, buddy.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we got the pay-per-view coming up. Do you want to start with the predictions and then we could work our way?
I feel like
we really don't have to talk about. We can touch on what happened at SmackDown a little bit later.
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about Raw because we're getting to the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it'll come up in the predictions in the previews here. So, you want to start with the predictions? You want to go with the pre-show match? It's the Cruisers.
Yeah. Full disclosure to our audience, right? I feel like, do we owe them that? Right? We do, right? We owe them full disclosure?
Full disclosure?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't watch 205 Live.
Yeah, I don't either.
I watch everything. I watched TNA Sacrifice 2011 the other day, and I will not watch 205 Live.
I think if somebody out there that's listening does watch 205 Live, they should let us know why, because I don't know why anybody's watching that show.
I think I know why. Because there's nothing on... See, the problem is, I don't want to go too much... I don't really want to spend time talking about 205 Live, but you give us nothing to look forward to on 205 Live when you have 3-minute cruiserweight matches like you do on Raw every single week. And you have Tony Nese submitting to whatever the hell that sucked, that Jack Gallagher. Like, Jack Gallagher makes everybody he wrestled look like a bitch. That's a true story, because he's like Tony Nese. Like, if you put Tony Nese and Jack Gallagher next to each other, somebody would think Tony Nese is part of the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, and they were taking Jack Gallagher out for an ice cream cone. So to have Jack Gallagher beat Tony Nese that way was just, man, that sucked.
That's strong. That's strong. I appreciate the opinion on Jack Gallagher. That's strong.
Let me tell you something. You know what else is strong? This delicious Colombian mountain roast coffee I'm drinking from 7-Eleven right now. Usually I go with Starbucks. But some putz at Starbucks was like, we're closed. My man, it was 9:27 Your website says you close at 10. So there's no reason for you to tell me you're close. So I went and I got this 7-Eleven coffee. It's really hitting me hard, buddy. I'm loving it. I might be talking a little bit fast. I'm going to slow it down. But I have a lot of energy tonight because I'm excited for the weekend. The hell did I just... Where'd I go with that? Jack Gallagher. Oh, 205 Live. That's where we went.
Somehow we landed on 7-Eleven coffee.
7-Eleven coffee.
From 205
I get excited.
Live. It was after the Jack Gallagher.
Because you give me something to talk about. Now, I didn't know that Rich Swann came back. I don't know if you knew that. I haven't seen him on Raw.
I haven't seen him on Raw. He may have been on the aforementioned 205 Live, which I don't watch. But
So Tozawa and Kendrick have been having a little feud back and forth. Kendrick called Tozawa his student, I guess. Noam Dar's in the match with Alicia Fox, so I assume he's going to lose. So I'm going to say Swann and Tozawa win.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with the baby faces on the pre-show, especially since as I was looking at this card and trying to figure out who I thought was going to win. I think I had mostly heels winning on the main show, so
yeah.
I felt like we should get a babyface victory in here on the pre-show. So I'll go with the good guys. Well, let's start with some of the non-title matches. So we got Samoa Joe in his main roster pay-per-view debut against Sami Zayn. The basic backstory here was that the idea was supposed to be Samoa Joe was going to face Seth Rollins on the show. Seth Rollins has a legit knee injury. He's not able to wrestle at this show. So
Does he have a knee injury?
Yes.
Does he still? Because he looked like he was selling it a little bit on Raw.
I'm sure he was selling it, and he was definitely milking the sympathy, I guess, that he was trying to get on that show. But he either way, I guess he's not cleared to wrestle, or they held him off the show either way. And they started up a feud with Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe. I think it started like Joe had mentioned something about Zayn in a backstage interview that he had done, and then Zayn responded, and then Joe, of course, came out and beat the crap out of him. So they've been doing that for a couple weeks. So I don't really know enough if these guys wrestled on the independent scene back in the day. I want to say that they probably have. I just don't remember or haven't seen it, but I would imagine the match would be pretty good.
They've had to have crossed paths, right? Like I also don't remember it, but yeah. I would assume Sami Zayn's from a generation after Joe, but they had to have at some point. I'm sure somebody that listens out there is more in depth than we are in the Samoa Joe career lineage. You can give us a holler. But I'm sorry. Continue.
So anyway, I think Joe was debuted and they've kind of given him a good push, right? Like he beat up Seth Rollins and took him out. He defeated Roman Reigns in a match on Raw, and so he's got a little momentum here. So I'm going to say that Joe is going to get the victory.
Samoa Joe has to get the victory. Sami Zayn's your lovable underdog who just loses every, I would say, 4 out of 7 matches. He should not win this match. I love Sami Zayn. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. Everybody knows that. But you can't have Samoa Joe lose unless you have him lose for the sole purpose of setting up a feud with somebody or something stemming from this match. But I feel like they still don't know what they're going to do for WrestleMania. They've got a lot of parts and a lot of I would say they got their toes in a couple different ponds here. You got you really don't know if you're going to go Samoa Joe Triple H or if it's going to be Seth Rollins Samoa Joe or Seth Rollins Triple H. I think it's all depending upon Seth Rollins' injury and when he can come back. But for right now, I think the safe bet is Sami Zayn to do the JOB, the Samoa Joe. It's going to lead us to Sasha Banks and Nia Jax. I can't really begin to care too much, I'm going to be honest with you. Nia Jax is not getting much better. I like the whole, I don't care what the girl looks like. I care if she can wrestle. And Nia Jax is, she's playing the Karma role. But I feel like Karma, a.k.a. Awesome Kong, was a lot better worker than Nia Jax was. And she doesn't move very well in the ring. She's an imposing figure. But Sasha Banks might legit